Again, good morning, everyone. My name's Rick Anthony, and I'm with Evosys, and welcome to our E-businessSuite to Oracle Cloud webinar. This webinar was designed to give people the opportunity to understand how to move to Oracle Cloud from eBusiness. In doing so, we'll show you how to de-risk the project in moving to cloud. So just by way of introduction, my name is Rick Anthony. I'm the VP of Sales here for the West. I've got 23 years of experience working with Oracle applications in the ERP, HCM, and EPM arenas. And with me today is Snehal, and he is our SVP in charge of customer success. And he has well over 14 years of Oracle application experience. So in today's webinar, if you do have any questions, and we encourage questions, please use the chat in your toolbar to raise any questions that you may have while we go through. That's the questions, sorry, in the question section there. So please feel free to ask any questions that you may have as we go through this. Thank you. Next slide, please. So here's the agenda for this morning. So first, we want to qualify Evosys and why we are talking about this subject today. We are a Oracle-only application shop, and we'll spend some time talking about that. And then we'll cover briefly the business case for moving to Oracle Cloud. And then we'll go over our Glide program. Our Glide program was designed specifically for e-business customers, on-premise customers moving to cloud. And it's very important in understanding that we've done this a number of times. We've actually have well over 100 on-premise customers that we've taken to Oracle Cloud. So we've put some accelerators in there, and we've put other measurement tools to help customers move to cloud. Okay, so go to the next slide, please. So again, here's a brief snapshot of Evosys and our capabilities. We are an Oracle-only shop, as I said previously. In doing so, we are strictly focused on innovation and providing that thought leadership to customers within the Oracle space as well. So we've got well over 1,000 Oracle Cloud customers globally. ERP Today magazine said in this year's first quarter magazine, said that we've taken more customers to Oracle Cloud than any other partner globally. We're proud of that distinction. And if we were to break it down into areas of expertise, we've got well over 230 ERP customers that we've taken to cloud, 850 on the HCM side, EPM and SCM over 100 and 150 respectively. So we, again, do have the capabilities in doing so. And going through those many implementations, we've created a center of excellence. And it's a center of excellence that's built upon best practices, which has allowed us to go talk to our customers and go to our customers and present the easiest and cost-effective way of moving to cloud. And we do this on a global basis. We've got well over 30 locations in the world, and we're continuing to grow. We're continuing to grow. So again, we said we specialize strictly in Oracle, and we cover all the pillars. So we're able to talk ontology about ERP, SCM, HCM, EPM, CX, innovation, which we'll talk about later, analytics, which we'll cover, and then the industry extensions. And these are extensions. Oracle Cloud is meant to be a multi-tenant basis of best practices, and sometimes there are industry expertise that need to incorporate within those applications, and we provide those business process extensions to address those. And we'll cover a little bit of those. And in those industry, areas, we cover manufacturing, retail and distribution, hospitality, engineering and construction, professional services, public sector and higher education, where we've created these customized extensions and have significant expertise in engineering. 90 plus customers we've taken to cloud. Hospitality, 60 plus. Manufacturing, it's in the hundreds. Okay, so let's go to the next slide, please. So that's us talking about us, and this is what Gartner says. So Gartner placed us into a category on moving on-premise customers to cloud. And this is their 2019 ranking of us and where we stand in the Magic Quadrant. And then this year, we've risen and getting closer to the leadership section there. Very proud of that and the fact that we've been recognized by Gartner and the Magic Quadrant. Please move to the next slide. So we talked a little bit about what are industry solutions and extensions previous. And here's just a snapshot. I won't go through these at all in understanding, but these are the various areas within ERP and SCM alone on the right-hand side, where we're able to talk about workforce scheduler. Oftentimes there's a gap when understanding that you've got to put together a workforce schedule, but also rate them on different pay rates for different projects that they may be working on. That's what that is. Warehouse 360, that is a RF smart type solution that is meant for working within warehouses, and that's a cost-effective solution. There are various, again, extensions there that we can go into that would take a webinar in itself. I won't do that. But on the EPM side, this is really important. When you look at EPM, and we're talking about there the forecasting tools and the budgeting and planning tools, we have out of the box specific industry solutions around those in those specific industries there. And again, please come to us and ask us if you have an industry, if you're looking at an EPM product or you're looking at an EPM solution and you want to understand more about our industry specific solutions, please do come to it and ask us, and we'll be more than happy to show you how we've helped those customers, but also what we have coming out straight out of the box for us. All right, next slide, please. So, developing the business case for moving to cloud. So, as I said, I've got 23 years of experience in moving Oracle applications and working with Oracle applications, and that's if you look at the timeline here, without dating myself too much, if you look at the far end in 1987, that's when Oracle Financials came out, and that's when I started my career, not 1987, but there and abouts. And then it moved into EBS, and that's its current namesake is EBS, and it's grown as it's done so, and as it's done so, it's added new features and functionality through its growth, and Oracle has now said in 2021 December that the current release of 12.1 will be going into sustained support and leaving premier support. For those familiar with the support model, that means that once it does go into sustained support, your functionality, you may lose some functionality, but a lot of the support that you were getting previously from Oracle will end. Now, if you were to move to 12.2, you would get that premier support until 2030. So this is the time a lot of e-business companies are looking at what to do. Should I stay on 12.1? Should I move to 12.2? Or should I look at cloud? And that's what we're here to talk about. So if you look at the key facts here, so there is Oracle has provided a comprehensive business suite that covers all those areas, and a lot of that is moved over into the cloud. Okay, so there is a broad industry coverage as well within that, within cloud. So there's an ability to look at cloud, but more so on the e-business side, you've created a lot of customizations, and this is where a lot of customers have the risk in moving, and there are large hesitations in moving because in my experience, and I'm sure you're familiar with as well, you feel that these customizations will not translate well into cloud. And how will we be able to do that? So if you look at it, a lot of customers are feeling that because more than 50% of the installed base are still on 12.1 and have not yet made a decision to move to cloud or to 12.1. And what we want to try and do in today's webinar is give you a bit of justification in moving forward, but just peruse it, So we've created a glide program, which Snehal will be talking about. And one of the things I'd like to say in this is, for everybody that's attending this, we'll be more than happy to sit with you and start the initial assessment of moving to cloud. And Snehal will go through the various points in it, but I did want to make that offer that we will be more than happy to sit with you and start that assessment process for you, and that will be free of charge. Okay, so let's move to the reasons why we want to look at cloud. So we're, as you can imagine, now moving to the new normal. And we're well into 6 months into the new normal. And I think we're tired of hearing that phrase, new normal. And one of the things that a lot of companies we've been talking to is they're now realizing how mobile your workforce is and how mobile it has to be and to live in the new normal. And one of our customers, a large global retail chain, we went live with them in the beginning of the year. And when speaking to their chief human resource officer, and COVID hit, and they had to shut their stores and had to put everybody into working from home. Her comment was, if it wasn't for having a cloud application like Oracle, our productivity would have been lost. But the transition to working from home and a cloud solution has made it so very easy that she's still able to keep productivity. There was a small dip in productivity, and it had nothing to do with the application. It was more to do with work habits. But after that, it is at full steam. So again, it's that new normal that we have to look at. So as you look at the pace of change, things are always coming into play here because the pace of change is rising while our ability to respond isn't moving as quickly. So we're dependent on infrastructure and processes and resources. Those are all areas that we are so very dependent on, but actually hold us back a little bit in the pace of change because there are regulations that are coming out and true competition for skilled talent, and understanding, within overall industry, finding good people is still difficult to find, and innovation that keeps coming at you. You have to be able to respond. And the customer expectations are there on companies. They want them to respond quicker and faster. So change is constant and accelerating, and it continues to do so, and it's not going to stop, There's new products that are coming out all the time and new business models. So how are you going to react to those and keep pace with that? And that's why for change now is one of the best times to look at that. And what we want to try and do is give our customers and people on the webinar a comfort that they could look at change and with no obligation, and helping us walk you through our glide program so you can see what that impact would be to your business and how your risk profile may change, understanding how your transition from on-premise to cloud would look. So let's go to the next slide, and we'll talk a little bit about holistically what Oracle products bring. So the Oracle products cover a wide variety within the back office systems, obviously. We're talking core financials, projects, which a lot of companies do have a dependency on. We're talking to a number of customers right now that are on premise that have various different applications to manage these whole suite of areas here. And here is a true enterprise solution where you can bring in financials, projects, planning, bring in HCM so you have a cohesive and transparent communications to ERP and EPM, and then supply chain and CX, which is more on the customer service side. So all of this brings into innovation, which is IoT, AI, machine learning, and blockchain. Those are the sexy phrases people are talking about these days, around IoT, the connected worker, finding out where your people are on sites if you're in construction engineering or in the mining industries. AI, getting information faster, quicker so you can make decisions. Machine learning, taking repetitive process and learning from those. So there's a whole area that Oracle focuses on within their applications to provide innovation, and we'll be covering and talking about a few of those later. So I believe at this point, I'm going to turn it over to Snehal, and he will now discuss a little bit more about our Glide program and what that brings to customers. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much. Thanks for the great insight. All right, so as Rick has mentioned, there is a great need of an evaluation by the E-businessSuite customer about their future roadmap, and Oracle Cloud Application offers fantastic end-to-end solutions and a lot of innovations like Rick have mentioned. And I believe that's where Evosys role come in the play, with over 1,000+ Oracle Cloud customers globally and about 100+ on-premise customers. Evosys has created a program called Evosys Glide. This program essentially helps on-premise customer, such as E-businessSuite, PeopleSoft, and SAP to move from their existing situation to Oracle Cloud Application. The Evosys Glide program is combination of number of approaches and the toolkits Evosys have created, which essentially help our customers to improve the quality of their transformation program. It helps to save huge efforts and bring efficiency. For Evosys and as part of Evosys Glide program, innovation is a core part of it. We do not consider innovation as phase 2. We try and identify use case and bring innovation as appropriate. The Evosys Glide program is suitable for different situation of customer, and that's what we are going to discuss in next 15-20 minutes of time. And we will critically evaluate how Evosys Glide program can be helpful for yourself. It's a proven methodology. Like I said, locally and globally, about 100+ customers have successfully used Evosys Glide program. So let's deep dive. Let's evaluate, understand different customer situation. And let's see, how you can leverage the Evosys Glide program. The Evosys Glide program has 5 different stages, starting from the assessment, then the Evosys Insight, advisory or consulting services, a very strong and proven Evosys implementation methodology to cloud, and the support and the managed services. Let's start from beginning. Uh, if you are a EBS customer, with huge customization on E-businessSuite, for good and bad reasons, right? You are using EBS since last 5 years, 10 years, 20 years, and over the period you have customized your environment. Or you are a EBS customer and you are not really sure, from where you should start your cloud journey. Everyone is talking about cloud application. It is great, and all of that is understood. But you need help to define your roadmap. What is the right way to start? And you understand, like I said, cloud really offers fantastic benefits and advantage, but you are really looking for a guidance from where you want to start. If this is your situation, if this is the questions you are asking, then the assessment of configuration and customization is the right stage to start with. uh, like Rick said, it's a free of cost program which Evosys offers. The What we do as part of assessment is we will send you the toolkit which Evosys have created. You have to run the toolkit on your E-businessSuite environment. Send us some information back. We will create a free of cost assessment report. uh, the assessment report would consist a lot of interesting information, such as we will analyze what modules you are using on E-businessSuite, what features you are using on E-businessSuite, what are the customization you have done, in terms of everything, the custom forms you have created, the packages, the concurrent program, the alerts, personalization, everything. We will not just extract the count of custom extension, but we will also try and get basic information about it, def- primarily the description of your customization. And that will really give a lot of insight to Evosys and Oracle to create a right cloud roadmap or strategy for you. As part of assessment program, we will also analyze your transaction volume, the master and the transactional data volume as well. Uh, Without talking to you, without spending your energy and effort, this stage one or the assessment program offers great way for you to start the cloud journey, and it's a fantastic opportunity for us to understand your situation and create a roadmap which is tailor made. uh, as part of assessment, we will not just analyze your current situation, but we will also try and bring some value. So this is just an example of Oracle GL, General Ledger, uh, and it's an hypothetical example. So let's say if you are using 26 different feature of EBS today, and our assessment tool will extract this information, we will do some basic analysis and tell you that what are the additional and the relevant feature you will get out of GL. We'll give you a quick summary. And this is true for all the modules, be it supply chain or human capital management, all the modules you are using, we will do initial analysis. This will really get you a sense, how Oracle Cloud application will be beneficial. You can,
Go ahead, sorry.
no, sure, Rick, go ahead, jump in.
And I think when we look at building a business case, because we started to talk about building a business case, and I think this is really important to understand these enhanced processes that you'll be receiving when we do this analysis. Is I've seen companies build their business case on these enhanced processes, because right now you may not know what you don't know that cloud brings to you. And for instance, we're working with a current e-business customer that has well over 2,300 customizations in their system. And their risk profile was high initially. We went through the assessment process and we realized that they created these customizations. Well, first off, a lot of these customizations they didn't use anymore, but that was their stock number of 2,300. But what they did use, we found that well over 70% of those actually are native now to cloud. And then the additional enhanced processes is how they built their business case to move to cloud. I just wanted to share that. Thank you.
That's a great point, Rick. Thank you so much. All right, so that was the first stage of assessment of configuration and customization. Like Rick said, it's free of cost program. It's a fantastic way, our customer can really start the cloud journey. It does not take more than 3 to 4 days of time. So essentially, you will get free of cost assessment report in a week of time. We will not get on long calls. It's a toolkit we will send you and get you a fantastic reports. We are more than happy, to schedule a call and work on start your cloud transformation journey with the Evosys assessment program. All right, let's go on second situation. So you are a customer. You are going to spend X number of $1 million on Oracle and Evosys, and you want to create a business case. You want to define the clear and measurable ROI. You want to show it to your executive management. If this is your question, if this is what you are looking for, then you want to start or use the Evosys Glide Stage 2 and start your journey from there. Now, let me give you a little glimpse of Evosys Insight program. So as part of Evosys Insight program, and again, as part of the sales cycle, we work with our customer, understand what are their strategic objectives, why they want to transform from E-businessSuite to cloud, what is their vision, what are the critical challenges they want to solve, what are the processes they want to improve. For an example, I am a customer using E-businessSuite. I want to improve the efficiency of financial processes. After moving to cloud application. So we will find the objectives, or we will list down the objectives and challenges. Then, as part of the Evosys Insight, we will list down what are the KPIs which will help you to accomplish the strategic objectives or resolve some of your challenges using Oracle Cloud Application. We have library of KPIs, in different functions, for finance, supply chain, for human capital management, so on and so forth. We will obviously share our library, but we really try and be as specific as possible. From our experience, the KPI which we identify are normally in these 4 categories: process optimization, system adoption after go live, information output, and audit and compliance. So those are the broad category. Let's say, we have identified, sorry about that. Sorry about that. So we have identified the KPI, reduce payment processing time. That's one of the KPI. And again, all of this we do as part of the sales cycle. Once we identify the KPI, there could be a possibility where we want to detail out the KPI. As part of the Evosys Insight, we will also create the baseline and what are the benchmark you want to achieve. So how are you doing with reduced payment processing time today? And what is that you want to achieve as part of Oracle Cloud Transformation? So we identify KPI, we agree on the benchmark, we define the baseline, and we will deliver this package to Evosys delivery team. So once they start the project, Evosys project team will create detailed task per KPI. This task would have responsibility for client, and the task would have responsibility on Evosys project team also. This task would be part of a big Evosys implementation plan. We will ensure that we would design and create the solutions, which will ultimately help you to accomplish the KPIs, which you have decided and which Evosys have agreed as part of the sales cycle. We will time and again, as part of the implementation journey, would monitor the progress on the KPI, meaning whether we are recommending you best practices which helps you to ultimately achieve the KPIs, or we are configuring the solution which really helps you to achieve the KPI post go live. And once it's live, and this is really important and interesting, and this is why we believe that Evosys Insight program is really unique. We have created a tool using Oracle Business Intelligence. This tool basically helps you to monitor the progress of KPI post go live. So we will deploy this tool on your environment once you go live with Oracle Cloud application. And this will help you, and I'll give you an example of this tool. This will help you to basically monitor what is the progress you have achieved on the KPIs, which we have agreed as part of the sales cycle.
I just want to add on this. This is where customers I've experienced this is how they measure their ROI. I think everybody here on the phone has been through a e-business implementation of some sort or an upgrade, and those take a significant amount of time to do. And oftentimes there's cost justifications that go into that where they have specific ROIs they want to achieve. But because of the duration of the project and changes to the project, oftentimes those ROIs are missed at the very end. Here, we start at the very beginning and understanding, what do you want to achieve? What sort of KPIs do you want to achieve? What sort of ROI, what kind of return on investment are you looking at getting? And we incorporate, as Nahal said, those into the implementation, and then we track them at the end so that the customer is able to actually see the benefit. So at the C level within organizations, they're the ones that signed off on the check for the implementation. They're actually able to see the progress of their ROI as it is in an actual real time. And we'll oftentimes incorporate this into a model that allows us to measure that through the very end. And we go one step further, and I hope I'm not stealing your thunder here, Snehal, is we'll package that into a way that it's in the commercials, so that when a customer does achieve those ROIs, and when they do achieve those ROIs, that will trigger for the commercial part of the implementation. We'll put a certain percentage of the implementation cost. And once those KPIs are achieved, that will trigger a payment, the final payment to Evosys. If it is not achieved, then that final payment does not go through. So there's a significant vested interest of us to make sure it does go through. It's our skin in the game.
That's a great point, and there are multiple ways to look at Evosys Insight program or the KPI story. I'm a customer, I'm so keen on ROI and KPI, and you will have a different category of customer who are looking for steady state. They have a E-businessSuite environment working pretty fine, but they still want to go move to cloud and get a lot of benefit. They want to control the risk and achieve the steady state by after going live. So you can use Evosys Insight program, and we are happy to keep our final payment milestone on accomplishment of the KPI, or we can also keep our final payment milestone on the steady state. Now there could be multiple examples of steady state. You want to consider success once your first payroll runs successfully, or you want to consider the cloud transformation as successful once you get your first period closing done successfully. So we are more than happy to identify the steady state criteria and put our final payment milestone. So both are the example of Evosys Insight program. This is another example, and again, Rick have started and mentioned that Oracle Cloud application has a lot of new stuff, a lot of cool and innovative stuff, and it is really, really important where you analyze the environment, you analyze the innovative stuff, as part of your cloud transformation. These are some of the example of digital assistant or chatbot which we have created as part of cloud transformation journey for some of our customers, and they are using a lot of benefit out of it. And I'll just play the COVID-19.
Are you experiencing any of the below new or worsening symptoms of COVID? Do you have cough? Sure.
So the point is, it is really, really important to get the true and real benefit. And Evosys Glide program ensures that, as part of cloud transformation journey, you will get an opportunity to evaluate the full capability and capacity of cloud application and get true and real benefit once you go live to cloud applications. Let's keep moving. The third situation could be, you are a customer using E-businessSuite. You have very clear vision. You have 3,000 line items of requirement listed. You know what are your wish list. What are the improvements you want to bring. If this is your situation, then you want to start with Evosys implementation methodology. And we will not spend a lot of time on this point because we have limited time today, but Evosys implementation methodology is a proven approach. We have used this approach for 1,000+ customers locally and globally. The consulting, sharing best practices, the change management, everything is part of our implementation methodology, and we really ensure to share a lot of best practices and bring a lot of examples and ideas from all our customers using Oracle Cloud application and what are the benefits they are getting. I want to highlight only 3 or 4 points as part of Evosys implementation methodology. The first and foremost is readiness. We really give great importance and emphasize to readiness. We have a detailed readiness checklist. So as soon as the contract is signed between the client and Evosys, we get on call. Our project manager will spend enough time with them to make sure they are ready. There are aspects, which delays the cloud transformation program, or which creates issues and challenges in cloud transformation program, and we are aware about those challenges, such as the E-businessSuite customization or third-party integrations, or data. So we try and identify these areas early in the project life cycle, put up a right plan so that the journey going forward becomes smooth. The another point which I want to highlight is sharing the best practices. It is really, really important. The way you implement E-businessSuite and the way you implement Oracle Cloud applications are totally different. When we start our project, the first day post kickoff, we will start with process playback workshop. We will get into system demonstration mode, spend couple of weeks, giving you complete exposure. What are the features, functionalities of cloud application. We will share the best practices. So more exposure of cloud application you get from day one is really, really very, very helpful, and that's our critical focus. The another thing which I want to highlight as part of our implementation methodology is agile way of build or iterative way of build. As part of our configure and learn, once you have given your requirement, once you have reviewed the best practices, when we start and do a final configuration, let's say if it is 4 to 8 weeks of phase, we will do lot of iterative workshop. So you will be able to see the application time and again. You will be able to review and validate your requirements multiple times. This gives you an opportunity to learn the application. This also gives you an opportunity to improve your business process. This gives you an opportunity to validate your requirement time and again. And we have really seen our customers getting a lot of benefits out of it. And the last point which I want to highlight is the knowledge transfer. We create a tailor made knowledge transfer strategy for our customers. We have training per role, so different training for the business users, different training for the end user, different training for IT and the admin user. Our knowledge transfer strategy focuses on a lot of details. We try and make you self-sufficient once you go live, and that's really, really important. We will give you a lot of exposure, how you can maintain the application, make basic modification in the application, how you can create new reports, how you can manage your security. So Evosys knowledge transfer strategy is really, really very detailed and exhaustive. So those are some of the points I wanted to highlight as part of Evosys implementation methodology. Let's keep going. So if you have remembered, when we have started talking about Evosys Glide program part of this presentation, we said that the Glide program is collection of number of approaches and the toolkits. We have discussed some of the examples of approaches. So assessment tool, the Evosys Insight, Evosys implementation methodology are example of approaches. Now, let me give you some examples of the tools we have created and the tools which are part of the Evosys Glide program. We have created a Evosys data migration assets, and this is again after a lot of experience helping EBS customer to move on cloud application. This is a front-end tool which gets connected to E-businessSuite, which extract the information from E-businessSuite. It gives you facility to transform the data. When I say transform, I'll give you some example. You want to change your chart of account as part of cloud transformation program and create new chart of account. Again, the data mapping becomes a very critical and time-consuming exercise. If you take a manual route with Evosys data migration tool, you can transform data automatically. You can create mapping and it will do all the transformation. The another example could be, I want to clean my job titles. I'm a global organization. My HR was decentralized, but as part of transformation, there are some of the aspect I want to make standardized. So it will help you to clean some of your data. So transformation really becomes automatic and really saves a lot of time. When you migrate data to Oracle Cloud application, you will get Excel-based template. You will have to ultimately populate data in those templates so that Oracle Cloud application can consume the data. Again, Evosys data migration tool will automatically populate data which got extracted from EBS and got transformed based on your needs to Oracle Cloud templates. And once the data is ready, it will migrate data into cloud application. And not only that, we also have varieties of reconciliation reports created as part of the data migration tool. It's a fantastic tool. It helps you to extract, transform and load data and do reconciliation also. You can obviously appreciate the fact that this process would make the data migration process very efficient, brings quality and save a lot of time and energy. So that's an example of one of toolkit of Evosys Glide program. Let me move on and give you another example. So and like Rick said, he has given an example of one of our customers, and they have done a huge customization on E-businessSuite. And part of that customization, they had created about, if I'm not wrong, about 400 different custom reports. Now, when you go from EBS to cloud, you still need those reports. You are looking for improvement, but you still want to analyze. What Evosys have done is we have created the custom report library over and above all the report which Oracle Cloud application deliver. It's a huge custom report library for different functions. So after you have analyzed and used all Oracle Cloud out of the box report, if you want to create a custom report, you will get an example from our library. Again, it will save a lot of time, energy, discussing the requirement, creating the report, testing the report, so on and so forth. So this is another example of a toolkit. Same way, we also have a toolkit for third-party integration, which our customers can leverage. So that's brief about Evosys Glide program. We have really covered a lot of aspect. Just to remind and refresh everyone's memory, the assessment is the first stage. It's a free of cost program. We can get on call with you today, tomorrow, next week, whenever you are free. Send you the assessment toolkit, get you a free of cost report. It's a fantastic way to start your cloud transformation journey. You are a customer, want to create a business case, use Evosys Insight program. Please remember, we have a measurement tool which we deploy as part of Evosys Insight program after go live, and that's really, really important. Defining KPI is good, but analyzing whether you got a real benefit of KPI or you progress the KPI post go live is really important, and we keep our skin in the game. And there are a lot of other aspects also we have discussed. So this is yeah, Rick, you wanted to?
No, go ahead. Sorry.
This is the last slide, as part of our presentation today, and we will see if we have questions after that.
Yes.
We have very, very strong manage and support services. Once you are live, and if you want to bring improvements, you want to help, getting continuous training, solving the issues. Oracle will release new features, functionalities every quarter. If you need someone to analyze and help you to implement new features, we provide very cost-effective support or managed services. We have a separate practice for us. Support services has a great vision and focus. We have about 200 plus consultant just focusing on our support services. The idea or the philosophy of our support services is basically to reduce your operational issues and focus Evosys and your energy in bringing improvements and benefit, continuous benefit of cloud application. So that's the essential philosophy of our support services. Rick, you want to add anything before we take questions?
No, just wanted to, acknowledge, their understanding in the marketplace. There are Oracle has a solution taking on-premise e-business customers to cloud, and I'm sure there's a few others that do so as well. And there's a comparison between the two. We're actually working with a customer that had talked to two other partners and had their evaluation services of moving to cloud, and we did ours, and they said by and far what they got from our services and what sort of information on how the assessment worked, but also the values they get from it, allowed them to really understand their risk assessment and allowed them to move forward with the purchase of cloud. So I wanted to just address some of the questions that we've had. A number of people have asked if we will be sharing the slides after the webinar. Absolutely. For those that have joined, we will be sending you a webinar, and we'll follow up with a call and seeing if you would like to have any, to answer any questions. So I had one question here. Hope we answered it for you. But when does support end for EBS 12.2? So to answer that, support for 12.2 won't end. Oracle really doesn't end full support. What happens is it goes from premier support to sustained support, which in turn says that you're going to get a lot less support and from Oracle for that. So bug fixes and things like that may not be included anymore. So you always get that, but that is set to go out of premier support in 2030. And another question was, does moving from 12.1 to 12.2, does that keep customers from, does that mean they don't have to move to cloud? And Snehal, I'll let you answer that one.
Not really. I mean, if you still decide or choose to upgrade from 12.1, you can still upgrade to 12.2 and later version. So it's not a compulsion, but it's a fantastic opportunity for you to evaluate what is new available in the market, which is Oracle Cloud Application, how much money you can save, and what are the benefits you can get. And like I said, if you are 12.1 customer, let's get on call, let's run the assessment. We will send you free of cost assessment report, and that will get you a lot of insight, whether you should do upgrade or you should move on Oracle Cloud Applications.
And we've got one other question here. Do you consider SLA modifications a customization?
No, we do not. So that's a great question. It's a part of the configuration because SLA modification is a very normal thing most of our customers ask. And very interestingly, as part of Oracle Cloud Application in financials, there are new ways and means to manage your complex SLA requirement. So no, we do not consider it as a customization.
Very good. Then trying to read from here, we've decided to move from on-prem to cloud ERP, plus add the EPM module. And I'm trying to get to that question here.
I can read that for you, Rick.
Okay, please.
Yeah, we decided to move from on-premise to cloud for ERP plus EPM module. Where would we start? So that's the question. Rick, you want to answer, or?
If you've decided to make that move and you've not done the assessment, or please come to us. We will. The next step is to engage with us, ask us a few questions about. We'll ask you a few questions about your environment, and then we'll do the assessment for you, and we'll deliver exactly what you've seen today. And then we'll also look at the Insight program and how we can add additional value to you in tracking those KPIs and your return on investment. So absolutely would love to engage with you on that.
So the assessment which, Rick, and there is a follow-up question, the assessment which we have done with Oracle, our recommendation is to review an example of assessment report, assessment report from Evosys, and we believe it will get you additional value and benefit. So let's get on call and let's discuss that point a little more.
Great. Any other questions? Snehal, I can't see any.
I think we are good, Rick.
Well, thank you very much for your time today. Again, you'll be receiving these slides shortly. Either on the screen now, you'll see my email address as well as Snehal's. So feel free to reach out to us anytime in between, and we'll be following up as well. Thank you for your time this morning. It was a pleasure, and please do stay in touch and be safe and well. Thank you all.
Thank you.